I have the shiniest meat bicycle!
Hey everybody, Gamer V here, and today, as you can probably guess, I'm talking Borderlands. Okay, so first, let's get the shitstorm out the way. Yes, there is the whole Epic Games controversy going on, which I can understand a lot of PC gamers are quite upset about. And personally, I can actually sympathize. I can understand why you were quite upset. I can see why a game like Borderlands 3, like something that we've been hyping up since Borderlands 2, for it to be an Epic Store exclusive for 6 months is a bit annoying. However, instead of looking at it from a consumer point of view, you have to also be able to take in the publisher point of view and the developer point of view, which the end goal of video game design and development is to actually make money, which is problematic when it comes to people like Gearbox, because a franchise like Borderlands is very expensive to develop, given that it has a hand-drawn cartoony aesthetic to it, which has the whole signature cell shade look. You got the marketing, the props, the DLCs that are being planned, the special editions, they're going to all take money and funding. So when a company like Epic Games comes on to Gearbox and says, hey, we will give you X million dollars if you can let us exclusively publish your game for a little bit on PC. And, there isn't really too much of a downside to that on Gearbox's part. The only bit that's a downside is it's upset the fan base, which, again, I'm saying you are perfectly justified to do. I personally do not support the Epic Games Store in its current form. I think that it is lackluster, lacking in content, and generally is more of a launcher than an actual store. If it were to include things like a search bar, a general checkout, and just a few basic features that Steam already has, then I wouldn't actually be that bothered by Borderlands 3 being Epic Games exclusive. Personally, this isn't actually going to affect me too heavily because I've played every Borderlands on the Xbox, so I'm going to get the Xbox One version when it comes out. So that's actually why I've got my mask, is because I actually got this as a pre-order bonus, which isn't too bad, honestly. Like, for a £5 pre-order bonus, that's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good quality. I'm going to have it on a Comic Con. It's going to be a laugh. Going as a psycho, going to be good times. Anyway, back on topic, which is the Epic Games controversy isn't that big a deal. Okay, like, I think that I can understand an angry backlash towards Gearbox, because I was not very pleased about it either. But I think that some of the actions taken by some members of the PC community, I'm not going to say all of them, because some of you are actually being professional about it, which I appreciate, which is you are pointing out the reasons why the Epic Games Store has issues, which I agree with. It does have issues, and I think that the whole timed exclusivity is a bit frustrating. However, again, we need to look at this from the perspective of the actual developers, of the people who make Borderlands, given that their main concern with the franchise is to make money out of it. But they still want to deliver a good Borderlands game, which, from what we've seen from the trailers, we're going to be getting. It's more Borderlands, which we all like. It's why pre-sequel was hit kind of down, because it was just more of the same. But I think pre-sequel was more, it was trying to tell its own story than it was trying to be like a direct sequel. It was, let's face it, if pre-sequel had come out before Borderlands 2, it would have been praised for how innovative and unique it was. But obviously, because Borderlands 2 came out, we had issues. Sorry. Anyway, so my general problem with the whole Epic Store exclusivity deal is that it is basically a paid advantage, which it does and it doesn't exclude PC gamers. What do I mean by this? Well, yes, it excludes the PC gamers who want to play on Steam, which I actually think is a better launcher on the PC. However, you're not, the people who are commenting stuff like, oh, it's been delayed, and oh, I'm not going to get it till then. No, that's not true. And I think that acts like review bombing and blackmail and threats towards people who work on the game for something that is actually out of their control due to legal documentation now. Yes, they agreed to do it, but they did it for a financial and logistical reason, which at the end of the day, that's what video games are actually about. You know, the main two concerns a game developer has is how much money can I make from my game, and is my game worth the money I'm charging? You know, as a consumer, my only concern about a game is it worth the price tag, and is it actually worth playing? I would be more upset if Borderlands 3 came out and, for example, was stuffed full of microtransactions, or I don't know, I loaded it up and it didn't work, or there was a day one patch which was like 100 gig, or, you know, I would be really upset if it just wasn't that good. That's what I'd be more upset with. Not that I'm having to use the Epic Store to play it on the PC. That personally wouldn't bug me. But this is more just my kind of opinion on the matter, more my thoughts. You know, you can't exactly say I'm not a Borderlands fan, because, like, I do know what I'm talking about. I've played every single game. I've done from the original Borderlands to opening up the original Vault, all the way up to even playing Tales from Borderlands, which was actually quite good. Like, there are a lot of people who are asking, like, who are certain characters in the Borderlands 3 trailer. It's like, yeah, you need to go play Tales from Borderlands. It's canon. Like, I would recommend. But my main problem is that a lot of people are being quite immature and quite... I think that the reaction is justified, because the whole Epic Games Store, the fact that it leaks personal data, the fact that it isn't complete, it was rushed, I think that that is a problem. But I don't think that taking an exclusivity deal to boost your profits, which gives you more money, which, need I remind you, money in the game company actually goes towards developing the game and paying for the special editions and paying for materials and employees. Because if the company doesn't make enough money, it'll get shut down. And if Gearbox gets shut down, then there won't be another Borderlands, which would be a bigger issue to me. So this is just kind of my opinion. Like, you don't have to agree with it. I'm not saying that anyone who doesn't agree with it is wrong, because you're not. You know, I actually think that yes, I have no issue with Borderlands being on the Epic Store, but I still think it should have launched on Steam day one, like they were planning. Because a lot of people have clear and obvious and understandable issues with the Epic Store, myself included. But when I actually look at it from a gamer point of view, I actually don't mind, because I think that reacting like, oh, Borderlands 3 is going to be terrible, let's all boycott it, let's all review bomb Borderlands 1 and 2. Did you really think Borderlands 2 was a bad game? Because a review of a game shouldn't be about the company's decisions regarding the game, it should actually be reviewing the game. That would be like me picking up... Yeah. I pick up Halo Reach, and I say, it's shit, because Bungie made Destiny, and best Destiny was meh at best. You know, my review would be flagged, and I would be called a hack in seconds, because Halo Reach is a good game. The only problem is that people are judging the only problem with my review there would be that I was judging the actions of people who made the game, not the actual game itself. Which is why whenever I review a game, I review the game. I don't review the company. I have my own opinions when it comes to games companies. Look at any of my videos on EA, Activision, or Blizzard. I'm coming for you next. But, like with Gearbox and 2K, the majority of the games that they've made, I quite like. I like the Borderlands series. I love the Bioshock games, even 2, controversially, because it's not actually that bad. Like, if you look at Bioshock 2 as its own game rather than as part of a collection, it's actually quite good. The gameplay's quite clever, it's generally fun being a big daddy, and okay, there's like 1 or 2 issues, but the majority of it's actually pretty good. I agree the multiplayer was a bit forced, but, you know, it's still enjoyable. You know, it's the same with Borderlands 1. Everyone always compares Borderlands 1 to Borderlands 2 now, which, think about when Borderlands 1 first came out. Nothing like it had ever been made before, which is kind of why it was so good. Anyway, I've been Gamer V. These are just my opinions, and
I'll dropkick your babies and sprinkle the corpse liquid crimson.